Hello and welcome to Redmen TV. Jonathan here after a crazy 2-all draw with Spurs. Fucking fuming after that one, I won't lie. It's the final whistle is just gone. It's hard to try and analyse that game properly and focusedly. You'll have to watch it back again tonight and watch it a bit more in detail and with a calm head, because I'm very much in the red mist at the moment. I'm absolutely raging at the officials towards the end. Look, we all know Jon Moss is a fat prick and is nowhere near Premier League standard of refereeing. And I tweeted in the first half about it. How is he Premier League referee? Made a load of decisions wrong. And the way that he acted for both penalty decisions for Spurs at the end. The first one, he can't wait to give the penalty. The lino saying, "Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure?" And then it's completely the opposite when he's right beside the incident at the end, and the lino, he can't wait to overrule him, to let him overrule him, and he just looks lost at all times. He just has no control under it, and yeah, look, the ground is absolutely fuming. Klopp is fuming. I'm sure he's going to have a few words to say in his interviews afterwards, and he's definitely going to have a few words to say with the officials, but. I'll try and go and wind it back in and try and calmly talk about that game. It's difficult right after full time. It's just every form of emotion that you could know. I'm shattered physically, emotionally just after watching that game. Started well. Klopp threw a spanner in the works in a little way. With the team selection, but to be fair, he got it right, especially for the first half. We were nice and aggressive. We were dominant all over the park. We controlled the game. Probably the most only disappointing thing at half time really was the fact that we were only 1-0 up, and that we didn't make the most of the opportunities that we had and the dominance that we had on the team. It's the goal. It started off by Salah again. Who else really? It's a decent move back to front. Bobby. I think as the ball goes back to Carey's, kind of Manny gets a flick on it, goes to Bobby. He kind of half takes a little flick at it. Then Dyer plays a block, and you can just watch Salah, just the way he anticipates that run. He's straight through, and once he's straight through 1-on-1 front of the cop, gives the keeper the eyes, rolls it into the bottom corner, and we're in paradise. The place is singing his name, and we're totally dominant. And we continue in that vein of form really for the whole of the first half. We were aggressive all over the park. I thought midfield, which I was a bit sceptical of. I think we all were when we saw that team announcement. We dominated midfield. We were nice and compact. We really got at them. We worked hard. We pressed as a unit. We attacked as a unit. Midfield, it was in particularly dominance. Didn't really give Spurs a kick. And Spurs didn't really. I think there was a stat that Kane had 3 or 4 touches or something like that, and that really was a summary of the way the first half went. We were utterly dominant. It's hard to say. As I said, just not getting that second goal. We had a couple of opportunities, a couple of breakaways that we didn't make the most of, a couple of chances from headers. Van Dijk, Bobby had another one. We were quite wasteful at times in our final ball. And unfortunately, Robbo was another one of these games where he was hit and miss. He's almost become the Emery Chan really at times, where he does some wonderful things and then he undoes it by some poor. Usually it's with his distribution. There's a couple of opportunities there again. I remember one comes to mind where Manny is straight through and he shanks it over the sideline. A couple of other bits and pieces. He flicks a leg at a clearance in the box as well, and half-time comes and it's that dominant performance, and that's the thing that everybody's talking about. It is, have we missed our opportunities here? Are these missed chances going to come back and haunt us? Because we've seen this pattern so many times with Liverpool performances, and unfortunately we didn't really come out for the second half. And I think that's being polite to the players. Spurs completely upped the ante. They dominated that second half. They really dominated. We tried to sit a little deeper, but the aggression was gone. The hunting in units, and the strategic pressing that we had in the first half, and the counter pressing wasn't really evident. We got ran over in midfield. They started playing balls through us. They played all around us. They outnumbered us in midfield. and they played the ball through us. And I think there was a stat there that I saw flash up on one of the on-screen graphics. From the 50th to the 55th minute, they had 83% possession of the football, and they continued a large possession of the football for pretty much all of the second half. And we're hanging on. We're trying to get, we're sitting so deep that all we were trying to do is try and get one ball over the top to pretty much Salah. And it didn't really work. A couple of kind of half missed opportunities. Again, the distribution by a lot of the players wasn't great, and we really are gasping for air. And there was a kind of a certain a sense of that this is inevitable. This is really, really going to happen. There's no way we can see Spurs getting back into the game. But I don't think we could see the exact dramatic ending, but you could definitely see Spurs coming back into the game. We made a couple of substitutions. He brings on Ox and Genie. Both didn't really get into the game. I thought Ox was particularly poor. He didn't really get into the game at all. I actually thought we were talking about early this morning that when it looked like Ox wasn't starting, that no, this would be great. It's going to be such a frantic game. There's going to be tired legs. He's going to make the most of those opportunities when he comes on, with his physical direct running and his energy. But unfortunately, he couldn't really get into the game, and probably wasn't helped by the way we were sitting so deep and pretty much hanging on. And then we go 3 at the back, and we kind of get undone a little bit by that in a certain extent with their equaliser, actually, because Robbo gets dragged over the right hand side. He's pressing, but then Spurs do it brilliantly. They dink it over to fill the hole. Ball comes back. Karius, who had a decent game, to be fair, doesn't cover himself in glory with the punch. He still gets it away. Chan kind of flicks a leg at it, doesn't get any contact, and Ox is caught flat-footed. But after that, it's just an absolute worldly. There's no keeper in the world stopping that. He hits it outside of the right and absolutely just, talk about the sweet spot, absolutely rifles it home. And you can just see how far the ball rebounds off the net and comes back out. The power in the shot, really, really was worried at that stage. I won't lie, because Spurs, after the equaliser, they kept attacking us. And let's be honest, they were the most likely to go on to win it, the game at that stage. They really, really, kept at us, kept incessant pressure at us. We didn't really have a chance to breathe. We weren't able to get the outball. We weren't able to get our flow into the game at any period in the second half. And you're thinking, oh God, what's going to happen here? And then, of course, you have the first penalty. Is it offside? Is it a dive? I don't think it's penalty. I'll have to watch it back. It looked like a dive the first time. It's an opportunity that shouldn't have happened. As I said, you can see Moss, he can't wait to give their penalty. He, even when the discussion with the lino on the far side, he hasn't a clue what's going on. Whether the decision was right or wrong, he is so lost. He's no control over the game. He's no idea what's going on. He just hasn't a clue, and he gives the penalty. And then look, Kane tries to be smart, plays it down the middle, carries to, makes a decent save, keeps the ball out, and the rebound is cleared as well, or it goes over the bar after a bit of a tackle. And you're thinking, can we just get this over the line here now? Because it didn't look like we were going to go on. I remember even saying, actually right before, just shows how much I know, right before the attack that led to Salah, I actually turned around and missed the start. I said, look, we're done here. There's no chance. We're not getting anything in this. There's no way a goal is scored. And then, Salah, what can you say? No other player in the world, maybe Messi aside, can get that goal. It's just pure and utter class. Does not give up. The way he weaves himself, the way he just keeps on going in, out, and then the finish, there's the keeper's on rushing just to dink it over him. Absolute world class. And that's what, 21 goals in Premier League goals in 20 games. Incredible. A better record than Owen, Fowler, Suarez, and this guy's an inverted right winger in his first season back in the Premier League. Just absolutely world class. And we all go nuts at this stage. We think that's it. You can see by the celebrations of the players, there's just so much emotion. You can see Klopp with his dart down the pitch, and you think, this is it. And then at the end, the Jon Moss wasn't to be outdone by Salah. He has to have the last say, and a player that's the referee who's closer to the action gets outruled by Lino who's further away. It just seems a bit crazy. I have to watch it back again. I have only watched it live in Red Haze. It looked like there was no contact, if very little contact. And the fact that the fact that Jon Moss is, has given the non-decision, say, his allowed play to come back, and then is overruled towards the end with his line out, just goes back to what I said first, is he's no control over the game. He's no idea what's going on. There's a lot of, questionable dives. The Dele Alli dive in the second half as well. He gets booked for that. The Kane one is touch and go. This one, there isn't really a lot in it. I would suggest to say. But look, it was just a case of Jon Moss wanting to be that centre of attention again. I'll go back to a point that I've said many, many times. You've world-class players, you've world-class referees, you've world-class coaches, managers in the Premier League, but you have absolutely goons as referees. And, they talk about the Premier League being the greatest league in the world and all that. You got to get your officials up to standard. And, people talk about VAR and, the delays that it gives, but surely after watching that bit of a farce there, you're swung back towards the VAR camp even. And, Kane gets the penalty and, he scores it and it's the game over, and it's just a rage. And it's been a while since I've sensed such a collective sense of injustice around Anfield. Cheat is the chant. The players go to. You can see Klopp sarcastically clapping the linesman. The players all go to the referee afterwards. The Klopp pushes them away sarcastically, shakes hands with them. No doubt he'll have more words, but it's just a complete and utter sense of rage and injustice. And as I said at the start, this is right after the game. I haven't got a chance to have an opportunity to watch the highlights back. It seems like now that we're completely robbed from the officials at the end. When I try and calm down a bit, our performance in the second half, or on the flip side of that, Spurs' performance in the second half probably deserved a result. But I'm a massive red. I'm absolutely gutted by that. It's 2 points, and it's another. It feels like another missed opportunity, especially holding a lead against a bigger team. We seem to struggle at that. But there you are, folks. 2-2. Endless talking points. We'll have to watch the game back and talk a bit more in depth, and as I said, with a bit more calm head. But for right now, I'm fucking raging. Feels like the world is against us. But let's watch it back. We keep on going again, folks. I hope you liked the video. Hope I haven't ranted too much. I tried to take a couple of moments to calm myself down because I was like an antichrist after the game. But make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the Redmen TV, and we will talk to you all very soon. Up the Red.